So you have a photo and you want to select the subject from the photo to change the background or do whatever you want to do with the photo. And it happens that the person in your photo, or anything really, has long hair and you have to select this hair too, and you don't want to spend 20 days trying to select hair by hair. Let me show you how I do it, and hopefully this will be one less thing to worry about for you. Okay, so that's going to be our first and main concern, which is selecting this hair and isolating it from the background. Check the background, click the background, Command J to duplicate the layer. I don't like to work on the background layer, so I just deactivate it. Select the quick selection tool, you can press W too, and then just start selecting your subject. Here you don't have to be very mindful, just it's a first quick selection, so don't worry if things like that happen, because we don't want that background, but we'll fix that in a second. Just make a first selection in the general area that you want selected and isolate from the background. This is going to be our main concern, these little hairs here. Now you can go up here and click on this brush with a minus sign and select those areas you didn't want selected. You can do the same thing for these little parts of hair that were too selected with the background. Now click Select and Mask. This can be refined edge on some old versions of Photoshop. Then in View, you have this, I have the overlay selected, but you can have onion skin. Basically, all those things are for you to see what you have selected versus what is not selected. I use the overlay because it gives me a better idea of what's selected and it lets me see what is not selected. So I put the opacity around 30 so I can still see through that filter, if you will, of color. Alright, let's take care of that hair issue here. You want to select the refined edge brush tool, and then basically what you want to do is start painting those areas that you want selected. It's pretty much magic. Now I'm going to speed up all this while I talk. You want to take your time there, don't rush, because then weird things are gonna get selected. You also want to keep the brush size more or less the same size of the hair strand you're working with. Otherwise, it gets a little weird. So take your time, don't rush, and you want to do that with every single part of the hair. So I'm going to speed things up. I'm going to do exactly what I just told you, just painting away all these strands of hair with that tool, and then I'll be back. Okay, so we run here into a little issue. I can't use this tool anymore. I need this part selected, and this refined edge tool is not gonna work. So I want to click here on the one down below, the brush, and basically I'm going to paint away, wait, I have to change this to a minus because we want this deselected, and paint away all this section we don't want selected. And I like to do that with every area, little area that hasn't been selected. I like to get the tool, the brush tool, and just paint it away. Sometimes what I like to do is making a rough deselection here. You see I'm also deselecting the fingers, and then just selecting and fine-tuning the fingers, for example. I use that a lot for the fingers, it's really useful. Okay, so I think we're done. You can always use the smooth, feather, and contrast tools. I'm quite happy with what we have, so I'll leave it like that. Then I'm going to export this that we just did as a selection. You could also export it as a layer mask already, but I like to do it like that. I don't know why, that's how I do it. You can do it the other way. Now I make a layer mask. So click on a layer mask. We have a layer mask now, only with the selection we just selected. I want to create a new layer because I want to change the background and I want to make it a little white-ish. So I'm going to paint it white and make sure that the layer is underneath the selection. And this background is way too flat, so I want to add now a gradient. I'm going to select the white to black and then I'm going to make it radial. Now this is going to look like crap, but just hold on for a second. Bring the opacity down and see what that does. You can fine tune it how you want with the opacity. I think I like it like this. You can check the before and after. And it's not something a big change, but it makes a big difference. Now I want to add on the subject a gradient map. I'm gonna add a black and white gradient map, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the opacity. I'm gonna bring it down, and it gives me this cool faded black and white like color, but with a little black and white, basically playing with the saturation of the colors. I want to link this effect which is applied to only affect the layer below that one. I want to click that button right there, and now it's only affecting our subject and not the background. I can do the same thing with curves, levels, and just edit the photo as you would, but you can use this technique so these effects will only affect the layer below and you don't have to make changes to the whole picture. What I like to do is press Command G to group all those layers, so you can check the before and after without pressing each individual layer. Let's see. See, you can use any background you want. I chose a white one because I thought it looked cool, but that's totally up to you. I mean, you can put here an ocean at the background if you feel like. But basically that's it. It's not too complex, but take your time. You don't want to rush it and then have to spend more time than fixing what you've done. I hope you liked it and found it useful. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Give it a thumbs up if you found it useful, and I'll see you next time.